Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 channel. The wedding plans of the super couple, a leading lady in the flesh. Spoilers for the week of September 15th to 19th on the Young and the Restless reveal some significant events and some significant casting announcements. Discover below who's coming and who's going in Genoa City during the course of the next 5 days. Jill Abbott has returned to GC, as Jess Walton returns to the role for a significant fall plot. Spoilers for the week of September 15th to 19th on the Young and the Restless indicate that Jill Abbott will be back in Genoa City, and not just on video chats. As Billy Abbott and Kane Ashby's long-standing animosity resurfaces, the leading lady will make a triumphant comeback to town. Kane and Billy have a significant history of power struggles over Jill's affections. It will be pleasant to see Ms. Abbott return to GC and get involved in the drama. Will she be fully #Team Kane, or will she give Billy some wiggle room? Plans for Cricket and Danny's wedding. Danny and Christine Blair will both be on display on Friday, September 19th. Lauren will share scenes with Cricket when she tries her hand at wedding planning. The rock star will speak with his son Daniel in the interim. Will either of these four have chats with Michelle Stafford's character, Phyllis Summers? To discover out, fans will need to tune in. In addition, Amanda Sinclair will return to the small town on Monday, September 15th, when she continues her tenure on the YNR. Amanda's boss, Kane, will meet with her to discuss his future plans. Furthermore, it appears that Kane will also be giving Amanda a new task. In Kane's tumultuous environment, will Amanda provide a sane voice? Time will tell. The wedding plans of the super couple, the leading lady in the flesh. A flurry of emotions, eagerly anticipated returns, and preparations for a dream wedding that might completely alter the canvas dynamic are all expected to occur in Genoa City during the week of September 15th to 19th. Characters from the past collide with drama from the present in these tale arcs, which promise to be both nostalgic and forward-looking. The action revolves around two main plot lines: Christine Blair and Danny's always romantic but equally intricate wedding preparations, and the victorious return of Jill Abbott, the real leading lady in the flesh. The first super pair, YNR. When combined, these plans are predicted to upset Genoa City's balance, with repercussions felt by the Abbotts, the Date, and others. Jill Abbott is back, a powerful reminder. For devoted viewers, Jill Abbott's comeback is nothing short of historic. It is clear that Genoa City is going to be shaken when Jess Walton slips back into Jill's heels. Jill is not the type of character who enters subtly. Instead, she intrudes, commands attention, and insists on being seated at the table. Jill's presence today feels like a gift to both ardent fans and more recent viewers who need to comprehend what it means when one of the show's matriarchs chooses to return in person. Jill has frequently been used as a yardstick of old-school power, beauty, and grit on the Young and the Restless. Given the simmering rivalry between her son Billy Abbott and Kane Ashby, Jill's comeback is well-timed. Their rivalry is closely entwined with Jill's complex past with both men and goes beyond simple business. Her biological son Billy is the everlasting black sheep who is always looking for approval but rarely meets expectations. Billy feels constantly marginalized since Kane, her ex-son-in-law, made a name for himself in Jill's heart. The stakes are 10 times higher now that Jill is returned. Will her practical side lead her to vote with Kane, who frequently positions himself as the more stable, dependable option, or will she support Billy out of maternal loyalty? Jill has been torn between these two forces before, but this time it feels different. Jill has been abroad, monitoring things through video chats, but being in Genoa City, where power is gained and lost with every chess move and relationships are put to the test every day, is always better than being away. Confrontations, boardroom battles, living room altercations, and possibly even unexpected reconciliations are unavoidable now that she's back. The leading lady in the flesh is returning to tip the scales in Genoa City's power conflicts, not merely to have coffee at Crimson Lights. Jill and the upcoming generation. In addition to the conflict between Billy and Kane, Jill's homecoming begs the question of how she will relate to the Abbotts and Chancellor's future generations. With Lily Winters assuming her own dominant role, Devon Hamilton carrying on the Chancellor Winters tradition, and Chancellor establishing his place in the world, Jill's direction or meddling could significantly alter plotlines. Although Jill has always had a keen sense of business, her loyalties are frequently dictated by her personal obligations. Will she present herself as Lily's mentor, possibly pushing her to challenge Billy and Kane? Or will she return to Chancellor Winters and remind everyone that an Abbott matriarch is still in charge of the company? Additionally, her presence creates an opportunity for emotional introspection. Nearly every area of Genoa City is entwined with Jill's lengthy and illustrious past. Her return to the television evokes recollections of her conflicts with Catherine Chancellor, her romantic relationships, her betrayals, and her triumphs. The audience is aware that skeletons are constantly coming out of closets, and that the past always permeates the present when Jill is in town. Danny and Cricket's super couple wedding plans. While Jill upends the Abbott world, romance, love, and the prospect of a happily ever after are the focus of another plotline. On The Young and the Restless, Christine, Cricket, Blair, and Danny were the stereotypical young couple. Their romance, which embodied the passion, idealism, and innocence of soap opera super couples, was a mainstay of Y&R in the 1980s and 1990s. Fans have long fantasized of the two getting back together decades later, and the prospect of them organizing a wedding has the crowd in a frenzy. With her legal career, her marriage to Paul Williams, and her innumerable conflicts with Phyllis Summers, Christine has already experienced the highs and lows of life. Danny, who has navigated fatherhood with Daniel and his complex relationship history, has also experienced highs and lows as a rock star. It feels like a new chapter and a sentimental callback to see them come full circle at this point in their lives. Whether two people who have experienced hardships apart can ultimately find peace together is more important than wedding preparations. The actual scenes of wedding preparation are certain to be humorous and endearing. It is a tribute to the long-lasting connections among Genoa City's women that Christine shares her thoughts with Lauren. In contrast to the tough-as-nails legal powerhouse we typically see in the courtroom, it's a moment for Christine to shine with optimism and remind fans of her softer side, whether they're talking about venues, outfits, or the guest list. In addition, Danny and Daniel's interactions serve as a bridge across generations. Given his father's complex past with Christine and Phyllis, will Daniel be completely supportive or will he have reservations? After all, Phyllis Summers continues to loom over this narrative like a storm cloud poised to wreak havoc. The Phyllis factor. Without a wild card, no Genoa City wedding plot would be complete, and Phyllis is the perfect fit for that part. Her notorious past with Danny is characterized by heartache and deceit. Whether on purpose or not, she has frequently served as the mediator between Danny and Christine, and fans are already wondering if Phyllis will manage to make an appearance in this most recent chapter. Will she interrupt meetings to plan a wedding? Will she go straight to Danny and remind him of their history together? Or will she plot in secret, subtly influencing things to make Christine unhappy? Phyllis's erratic behavior guarantees that the wedding preparations won't go as planned. Her simple existence in the plot adds drama, even if she doesn't actively intervene. Even though Christine and Danny are hoping for a fairy tale wedding, weddings in Genoa City are usually filled with surprises, pyrotechnics, and last-minute disclosures. The question is not if drama will occur, but rather how and when. Kane Ashby and Amanda Sinclair, developing subplots. There are other strands woven throughout Genoa City, even if the week is dominated by the primary plot lines of Jill's return and Cricket and Danny's wedding. The fact that Amanda Sinclair is still involved with Kane is interesting. Amanda is frequently portrayed as the voice of reason, as someone who strikes a balance between emotional upheaval and a realistic viewpoint. However, working with Kane puts her in a difficult situation. Because of Kane's talent at attracting individuals into his orbit, Amanda can unintentionally become entangled in his plots or disputes. Amanda's long-term trajectory on the program is called into question by her moments with Kane. Will she turn into a confidant, a counselor, or perhaps a potential love interest? Or will she have to set limits as Kane's ambition and need for power grow stronger? Supporters are aware that Kane rarely plays it safe and that people who support him frequently suffer consequences. Modern YNR meets nostalgia. The way that YNR's rich past and present are blended together in this week's spoilers is stunning. The romance that defined an age is echoed in Christine and Danny's wedding plans, while Jill's homecoming recalls the heyday of her conflicts with Catherine. The younger generation is also woven into the plots thanks to Amanda, Kane, and Daniel's involvement, which keeps the material current for today's viewers. This week appears to be a fantastic example of how soap operas flourish when they strike a balance between the past and the present. While younger fans will be enthralled by the prospect of new drama, viewers who have watched for decades will enjoy the callbacks. It serves as a reminder that love, rivalry, and ambition always inspire the next chapter in Genoa City's history. According to spoilers for the week of September 15th, 2025, there are 3 must-see scenes on The Young and the Restless. Mariah Copeland will likely confront Daniel Jr., according to fans. Jack Abbott asks Victoria Newman for assistance. Lily Winters is also won over by Kane Ashby. Let's see what happens next in the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. The private meeting of Mariah Copeland. Let's begin with Mariah, who communicates with Daniel. The redhead, notably Tessa Porter, wants to meet in secret so that no one may find out. When Daniel gets to the park, he is obviously perplexed, despite having agreed to meet with Mariah. Daniel Jr.'s moral conundrum. Daniel will be questioned by Mariah regarding Tessa. She has obviously seen the two together and is aware of their growing intimacy. Daniel truly supported Arya, Porter Copeland, and Tessa. Therefore, Mariah's demand that Daniel avoid Tessa would be a bit unjust. Naturally, he could feel terrible if Mariah informs him that she attempted to kill a man and requires intensive therapy. Victoria Newman and Jack Abbott's connection. According to spoilers for the week of September 15th, the Newman/Abbott animosity is the subject of another must-see event on The Young and the Restless. Things are becoming more tricky now that Kane is involved. Additionally, AI software has the ability to essentially take over an organization from the inside out and wreak havoc. In the end, Jack turns to Victoria for support. Victoria has always been a member of Team Newman. She did, however, acknowledge to Claire Grace Newman that she is not shocked by her father's covert activities and interference. She may therefore be approaching the stage at which she could join Team Abbott. Lily Winters was enchanted. Additionally, fans can anticipate that Kane will assign Amanda Sinclair another task. The tycoon wants Lily to become close to his lawyer. The man wants to know if they will ever be able to get back together. The project will make Amanda uneasy, but she will try her best. Kane then succeeds in winning Lily over by the end of the week. Kane seems to be coming closer to achieving all of his goals. But will Lily truly be enchanted, or is she just playing him? In the week of September 15th, 2025, which narrative are you most excited to see? Post your ideas in the space provided for comments below. To find out what happens next, keep watching the soap opera on CBS or Paramount Plus. The private meeting of Mariah Copeland. Although Mariah Copeland has always been one of those people who shows her emotions, she also has a darker, more private side that comes out when her fears get the better of her. When she sends Daniel Jr. a mysterious note requesting him to meet her in secret during the week of September 15th, 2025, fans will witness that side of her come roaring back. The intriguing thing about this situation is that Mariah doesn't want anyone to know about the meeting, not even her wife, Tessa Porter. Her distress over Daniel's growing intimacy with Tessa is evident from this alone. The dread of desertion is strong for Mariah, who has spent years trying to find her place in the world after being raised in Sharon's shadow and later tricked by cult leaders like Ian Ward. It's more than just jealousy when she sees Daniel spending more time with Tessa and young Arya. It's a stark reminder of all she's ever feared losing. Viewers should anticipate an incredibly raw performance from Cameron Grimes, who plays Daniel, who is clearly perplexed when he shows up at the park for their encounter. Daniel's bewilderment is understandable given that he is not the kind of man who enjoys keeping things secret, particularly when it involves friends and family. However, the conversation swiftly becomes emotional as Mariah starts to face her anxieties and vulnerabilities, making this one of the week's must-see moments. Daniel Jr.'s moral conundrum. Daniel's internal struggle is what really draws the reader into this plot. Over the past 2 years, Daniel has worked to improve as a father, mend damaged relationships, and redeem himself. His relationship with Tessa and Arya has been based on sincere support and has been mainly innocent. After all, Daniel offered Tessa support, guidance, and empathy when she struggled with her singing career, motherhood, and relationship with Mariah. Regretfully, Mariah perceives his presence as dangerous. She demands answers regarding his plans with Tessa when she confronts him, going beyond simply expressing concern. This puts Daniel in a precarious situation. He doesn't want to offend Mariah, who is Arya's mother in addition to being Tessa's wife. However, he objects to the notion that Mariah feels qualified to decide who Tessa may and cannot rely on. To make things more difficult, Mariah's feelings can lead her to act recklessly. The spoilers hint that she may tell Daniel that she attempted to kill a guy once, a sinister secret connected to her prior trauma and rehabilitation requirements. This confession could backfire horribly if Mariah uses it as leverage to guilt Daniel into backing down. Daniel would sympathize, but he might also interpret it as deceit. Daniel has a moral conundrum. Should he respect Mariah's desires, even if he knows they arise from fear and insecurity, or should he remain Tessa's friend and support system? In any case, the fallout might sever ties between people much more than Mariah and Tessa. Victoria Newman and Jack Abbott are connected. Meanwhile, business conflicts are escalating once more in another area of Genoa City. The stakes are higher than ever, but Jack Abbott has never backs down from a fight, especially when the Newman family is on the line. Jack is at a crossroads because to Kane Ashby interfering in corporate affairs and a potentially harmful piece of AI software that has the ability to destroy companies from within. Under normal circumstances, Jack would rely on his family, possibly Kyle or Billy, but the recent conflict within the Abbott clan has caused him to seek for allies in unexpected places. He then looks at Victoria Newman. Victoria has always stood solidly by her father Victor, so their chat is bound to be one of the most fascinating parts of the week. Even at personal expense, she has defended his brutal business methods for years. However, Victoria recently acknowledged, even to Claire Grace, that she is not surprised by her father's ongoing deceit and covert transactions. This admission suggests that her devotion may have changed. She might be prompted to reevaluate her role in the Newman enterprise by Jack's suggestion. She would not only alter the course of Jabot and Newman Enterprises if she sided with Jack, but it would also rock Genoa City and catch Victor Newman off guard. The idea of Victor's own daughter plotting with Jack Abbott would be a betrayal, as fans are aware that Victor lives on control. It's unclear whether Victoria is truly prepared to change sides or is just playing both sides, but one thing is certain: Jack and Victoria's chemistry, together with their shared fatigue with Victor's never-ending games, make this plotline worth paying close attention to. Lily Winters was enchanted, and Kane Ashby comes next. No matter how much time goes by, Kane will always be a part of Lily Winters' life, whether you like him or not. Viewers will witness him push the envelope once more this week when he assigns Amanda Sinclair yet another questionable task. In an attempt to determine whether there is even the slightest possibility of reconciliation, Kane invites Amanda to question Lily. Amanda, who has always been calm and professional, is really uneasy about this request. She is aware that it crosses moral boundaries and plays on Lily's feelings, but Kane has a way of making his demand seem unavoidable, if not unstoppable. Amanda agrees to walk carefully even if she is hesitant. Her nuanced inquiries prepare the ground for Kane to intervene and take action. By the end of the week, Kane manages to turn on the charm and, for the time being at least, win Lily over. Fans who have followed Kane and Lily for a long time will recall their intense and complex romance. They have experienced grief, deceit, and betrayal, but they have consistently found themselves attracted back together. Lily may recognize this charm offensive and be reminded of the man she used to love. But is she really falling for his charms once more? Or is she giving him the impression that he is in control while she stealthily defends herself? This type of ambiguity is ideal for soap operas. Intrigue is increased by the idea that Lily is playing Kane and outwitting him by using her cunning and intuition. Kane's perseverance, however, should not be undervalued. His ultimate objective is to regain both Lily and a position of authority in Genoa City, and he has a history of transforming setbacks into opportunity. The more comprehensive view, the complex web of relationships that sustains the young and the restless after decades of airing is highlighted by these three storylines: Mariah's confrontation, Jack and Victoria's collaboration, and Kane's pursuit of Lily. Every storyline is driven by years of history, resentments, and unresolved emotions in addition to the current situation. Kane's pursuit of Lily reignites one of the soap opera's most famous romances. Jack and Victoria's partnership upends decades of Newman-Abbott antagonism, and Mariah's fears draw on her tumultuous background. The theme of loyalty to friends, family, lovers, and finally to oneself, unites these tales. Mariah has to choose between controlling Tessa and putting her trust in her. Daniel had to balance Mariah's request with his own morality. Victoria and Jack must determine if the necessity for justice and self-preservation is more important than fidelity to blood ties. Lily has to decide if she should close that door permanently or give Kane another chance out of loyalty to her own heart. These disputes promise spectators not only drama, but also enduring repercussions. Choices that have an impact months or even years later are the ideal for soap operas, and these arcs create just that. The Young and the Restless presents viewers with a mix of unfiltered emotion, business intrigue, and romantic entanglements during the week of September 15th, 2025. Mariah's covert rendezvous with Daniel and her request that he stop pursuing Tessa might either mend previous hurts or cause new ones. Jack's unexpected choice to enlist Victoria's assistance suggests that the two most influential families in Genoa City may be losing ground to one another. Charm, nostalgia, and the possibility of heartbreak are all brought about by Kane's unrelenting pursuit of Lily. Fans are reminded by these three must-see scenes why this soap opera is still relevant today. It's about the decisions individuals make when they are pushed to the edge and the consequences that follow, not just about love, business, or treachery.